Hello. No stream today, sorry. The reason why? Because I hate you. Sorry you had to find out this way. No, it's been a wacky 24 hours for me, not in a way that you would find interesting, but it's been wacky for the country too. You know? Probably heard about this, or if you're hearing it from me, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to have to be the one to break the news to you, but the government's getting worse, like really quickly. Headline pretty much says it all, doesn't it? Musk gives all federal workers 48 hours to explain what they did last week. We love our efficiency, don't we? Look, let's just get the details out of the way. It's pretty simple, okay? Of course, this information was delivered via Twitter. Consistent with President Trump's instructions, all federal employees will shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they got done last week, Musk posted on Twitter, which he owns. Failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. Shortly afterward, federal employees received a 3-line email with this instruction. Please reply to this email with approximately 5 bullets of what you accomplished last week and CC your manager. The deadline to respond is Monday at 11:59 p.m. Fantastic. Let's get the usual disclaimers out of the way. Like everything else that is being done as part of this unconstitutional, illegal effort to freeze and fire federal government, out of line with the rights and responsibilities of the executive branch, we have no idea what's actually going to happen here, right? Will you effectively be losing your job if you don't resign on time? Who knows? We're all flying by the seat of our pants. Rules are introduced last second. Scrap, change. Is this being frozen by a judge? Is it not? Are we following the law? No. But are we pretending to follow the law? No. But are we, like, putting in effort? Also, no. Yeah, we have no idea what's happening here. What I do know is that this is a part of an effort on, from Elon Musk to basically turn the federal government into Silicon Valley. And by Silicon Valley, what I mean is like the .com bubble, I mean like tech startups that float briefly off of investor cash, but never actually turn a profit themselves, and then inevitably collapse. Everyone loses their job and the CEO gets a golden parachute they get to sail down on, or they just sell their shares and leave. We do have like prior examples of this happening, but I find like it's the grift economy, right? In order for a company to succeed, to do well, and I'm speaking really generally here, and it should be noted, by the way, that the federal government is not a company, because the goal of a company is, of course, to return maximum possible profit for their shareholders. At least that's what a publicly traded company is supposed to do. And usually this is done in a way that is detrimental to the interests of the employees of the company, as well as the people who patronize the company. So again, like, I'm not buying into the government equals business bullshit. You don't want that. You go to your local commercial district, okay? Go to downtown and see all the shuttered buildings. Do you really want the government to operate with the reliability of the commercial real estate that occupies the space around your house? Are you getting a great feeling of reliability from the economy right now? No, God, no. But even if we were to take all that at face value, just ignore that, okay? And we ask, all right, so imagine the government is a company. How would you run that company efficiently? Now, imagine for a moment that you are just really dumb, like really f***ing stupid. Imagine you're Elon Musk. What if every one of the millions of employees, what if they had to like say what they've done lately to their manager? It'll speed up the government and reduce inefficiency, adding more paperwork, mandatory weekly paperwork to every employee. And also paperwork that's being filed in an unaccountable fashion because they're CCing their manager, and their manager has a vested interest in the way things are already running because they already have the authority to fire people. So, in a way, it's kind of like a virtue signal, because the only people who might be disappointed with the amount of work you're doing in those 5 bulletin points are the people who already are directly observing the work you're doing, because we didn't really take the time to set up a managerial structure to oversee all of this. So basically, the only thing we're really doing is saying, everyone, please email your manager to tell them the things that you were already going to tell them as part of your engagement within this branch of the federal government. Like, just think for a second what this is like. Like, how are things operating beforehand? The managers at all these, we're talking like so many people work for the federal bureaucracy. And at all of these levels, like, all these managers are just waiting for the opportunity to fire people who are underperforming, but it never occurred to them to like look into what the people beneath them have actually accomplished. No, plain and simple, this is a virtue signal. It's the kind of meaningless cost-cutting virtue signaling that you see at private equity. You see it in Silicon Valley because the goal here is to maximize short-term profit for the shareholders. You try to like bump up the stock price as much as possible by getting a really good like quarterly report where your profits, well, your profits aren't great, folks. Your profits, they're not looking good. You still haven't broken even, but your expenses are down and you have lots of really exciting sociopathic managerial tendencies to share with, you know, the board of directors. So they get really excited. They're like, "Oh, wow, really? You're getting rid of chairs in the office, in the open concept office space that everyone shares, so everyone's using a standing desk, and every like 1 hour you're using a bullhorn to, you know, drill sergeant instruct the people who are working on their computers. Wow, that sounds like it's really going to boost efficiency. Invest, 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 and the shareholder price goes up, and then eventually it reaches peak, and that's when everyone bails, and that's why like all of these companies end up lasting 2, 3, 4, 5 years before they end up, you know, falling apart. Will this lead to anything? I mean, I don't know. This entire administration, like, it's going to lead to a lot of suffering to a lot of people. Is this going to be like a big game changer? No. I think that this is basically, it's a virtue signal. It's like, you know, chum you throw in the water. It's like something that stupid people get really worked up over. I'm reminded of that CEO of Sears. When was this? This was like 2009, 2010 or something. Sears, you know, the American, like the you know, the store, the department store, they got a Ayn Rand obsessed CEO who started like engaging in all of the trendy, you know, cost cutting strategies that you see people write books about but never actually apply in successful companies. And it was like, you know, different departments within the store have to compete with each other for maximum revenue and sales. And it actually ended up tearing Sears apart. Like they had to close more than half their stores. He left in disgrace. A very wealthy man, mind you, of course, because failure in the corporate world, once you're at a high enough level, like that doesn't matter. Okay. It doesn't matter for your well-being. Anyway, it's a stupid rule. It's a stupid rule, and it's meant to get some seal claps out of very stupid people. You know, what else do you want from me? Five bulletin points. 5 bulletin points to your manager, and you have 48 hours to do it. Really, the only thing that this is like signaling is immense disrespect to people within the federal government, which the more the administrative state despises the people on top for the, again, illegal, unconstitutional takeover of the administrative state that they've engaged in. Again, I can't stress this enough, okay? Elon Musk is not an elected official, and even if he was, nobody has the authority to unilaterally freeze funding that has been designated to these administrations via Congress. Like the Congress already signed the budget bill. That money has to go through. Freezing it unilaterally, you're taking on the power of the purse. It's unconstitutional. It's a coup. It's illegal. But does law matter? Well, if you're a liberal, I guess. You know. I'm sorry, wait 1 second. Okay. I was wondering because it seemed almost like too stupid of a question for me to like pause it because I didn't look into it before starting the recording. You know, I was like, what happens if you're on vacation? Because they say that in 48 hours, if you don't respond, that should be taken as a resignation. McLaurin Pinover, a spokesperson. You're not removing the woke out of me. At the Office of Personnel Management, confirmed Musk's directive and said that individual agencies would determine any next steps. What happens if an employee is on leave or vacation? Just, you know, a really like obvious question. Like it's pretty insane to just randomly impose a rule like this. You have 48 hours to comply. What happens if they're on leave or vacation? Again, she said individual agencies would determine how to proceed. Oh, so not replying within 48 hours isn't a resignation then, because the authority to do this is actually vested in the individual agencies and the managers who are being CC'd. Okay, what do you want to bet that Doge isn't even going to look at the emails they get? You know what? You know, okay, I'm thinking about it now because I was mostly thinking of like the only people who would have the ability to like vet what is written in these bullet points would be the managers that get CC'd in these emails. But now that I'm thinking about it, do you think this is just like a stupidity test where are there any federal government employees who are going to reply to Doge and they're going to be like, here are 5 points that I accomplished today. I engaged in wokeness by removing gender-specific language on the bulletins that we had posted by the water cooler. I, as an HR manager, I resolved a dispute where a person with neopronouns was referred to as they, them by their manager. Like, basically, Doge just looking to see if anyone's, like, obviously signal posting their political allegiance in this email. I don't know, man. It's so stupid. We'll see what comes of it. Dumbass rule. Stupid country. President Xi, fire the missiles when ready. Get me out of here. Get me out!